The mayor's actions are disgraceful on a couple levels. Number one, she's setting aside her oath of office to uphold the laws of the land and the rule of law. But secondly, and I spoke to the Attorney General about this, the majority of individuals who are being targeted by Immigration and Customs Enforcement had a criminal record. And so for the mayor of Oakland to warn them in advance of actions by ICE personnel actually put those law enforcement officers at risk. That's just utterly unacceptable. I mean, look, we need to fix a broken immigration system. We need to fix this system in a way that puts American citizens and American workers first. And we can do that. But the answer is not the kind of civil disobedience that we see in municipal governments and in the state of California that are simply saying we're going to set aside a recognition of federal law simply because we disagree with it. That's not how the American system works, and we'll continue to call on that mayor and on leaders around the country to respect the rule of law and put the safety and security of our law enforcement personnel first.
You recently had an incident, comments made by Joy Behar of The View. Bob Iger said that she called you privately to apologize. Can you bring us behind the scenes and tell us what happened? But she didn't say it publicly, although the original comments that she made about Christianity were made publicly.
Well, Sean, my Christian faith is the most important thing in my life. I mean, my wife and I spend most mornings with a little bit of time in the Bible, a little bit of time in prayer. And we're very typical Americans. I think the tens of millions of Americans cherish their faith. And so when I heard that ABC had a program where my Christian faith had been described as a mental illness, I thought it was important for me to speak out, not on my own behalf. You and I know that criticism comes with public life, but I felt it was important that I defend the faith of tens of millions of Americans against that kind of slander, and I did so. And, you know, I give Joy Behar a lot of credit. She picked up the phone. She called me. She was very sincere. And she apologized. And one of the things my faith teaches me is grace. Forgive as you've been forgiven.
So does mine, but I'm not as good at it as you.
Well, look, but I said to Joy, of course I forgive you. That's part of my faith experience. But I did encourage her, and I'm still encouraging her, to use the forum of that program or some other public forum to apologize to tens of millions of Americans who were equally offended by what she and
makes me question the sincerity of it, because you're right, it wasn't just a shot against you, it was against, and I'm a Christian, anybody of faith.
Well, but for me it was never about me. I mean,
understood.
You know,
you don't take it personally.
No, I didn't take it personally. But I just thought it was important in this moment that I speak out on behalf of the faith of tens of millions of Americans, and my hope is that that Joy and others on the airways will come to appreciate the meaning and if I can say the joy that comes from faith and respect that.
Last question. 2018. The Democrats expected the big blue wave in Texas. That never happened. Tomorrow there's an important race going on in the Pennsylvania 18th Congressional District. A lot at stake for you, for the president, for the country, if, God forbid, Nancy Pelosi became the speaker again.
Well, it's the only thing at stake is everything. I mean, if you like a growing economy, if you like 3 million new jobs, if you like a president rebuilding our military, having America standing tall in the world again, fighting for free, fair, and reciprocal trade, appointing conservatives to the courts and cutting taxes, then what will happen in Pennsylvania 18 tomorrow is about a whole lot more than the two candidates that are on the ballot, and the fall election's just the same. Look, the president and I both campaigned for Rick Saccone. He would be a fantastic member of Congress, wore the uniform of the United States for nearly 2 decades, and has extraordinary credentials. He was just endorsed by the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette on Sunday morning. But that election, to me, and this fall's elections are really more about the direction of the country. And the people of Pennsylvania have a great opportunity to send a message that they support the direction the President
Is it
Trump
also
has set.
about those crumbs that Nancy Pelosi talks about?
Yeah, it really is. I mean, let's make no mistake about it. If the Democrats took over the Congress in this fall's elections, Nancy Pelosi would be Speaker of the House again. And we don't have to wonder what that would be like. I was in the Congress the last time it happened, Sean. It's all about raising taxes and more regulations, and the Dodd-Frank bill that's killed community banking and lending to small business owners. And then, of course, they forced Obamacare on the country, as the disaster that was. I mean, we know that they would want to turn back all the progress the president has made. And so that's why the president was in Pennsylvania Saturday night. That's why he and I are going to be campaigning all over the country, because making sure that we reelect strong conservative majorities on Capitol Hill to continue to partner with this president is exactly how we're going to keep making America great again.
Mr. Vice President, good to see you. Always great to have you. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Great to see you.